Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Rufus, Edmisten, and Bob Orr. In 2015, the legislature passed a bill that became known as the Ag-Gag law. Now, its initial goal was that anyone who goes undercover as a farm worker to expose animal abuse could be sued for whistleblowing. It's further been interpreted that the law applied to any business and any employee. A federal district court judge ruled it violated the First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. Your comments on this and its ruling. Bob Orr, I'll start with you.
Well, Tom, I said I was going to tell you. The fact that you've asked Rufus and me to weigh in on a 70-page complicated federal court ruling is perhaps pushing the envelope on our depth of knowledge.
Yeah, what day is this, too? We don't have all day here.
Yeah, he speaks for me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, Judge Tom Schrader made the decision. He's a very well-respected
Yes, he is.
Republican appointee. So the fact that he found the act violated the First Amendment wasn't surprising. It was a very comprehensive decision that he rendered. There were a number of media and press groups that weighed in as amicus in the case in support of a determination that it violated the First Amendment. And one of the interesting aspects was that the named defendants in part was the University of North Carolina, which, according to the plaintiffs, they were trying to get people inside some animal testing facilities. So I'm sure it's a controversial decision, at least in the context of the agricultural community, but well-reasoned by a pretty conservative judge.
Yeah, but it has implications for whistleblowers in every field of work, does it not, Rufus?
Yes, when I heard about the legislature passing that law, I said I smell a cow, horse, or something, because there's just something about that law that won't hold up. And our courts, our federal courts especially, jealously guard the right of freedom of speech. And I think it has great implications for other. One time, remember, people were going into grocery stores to check the meat processing in grocery stores. And I can see all kinds of aftermath of this decision occurring because it absolutely said in that 70-page decision, after a lot of obiter dictum, Bob, that there is a freedom of speech that is jealously regarded. And I think it was a wise decision, although a lot of my farm friends don't think so.
Really? I would have thought they would have been the ones that were applauding the most. Would you not, Bob?
Well, I think what they were hoping, or what the agricultural community was hoping, was that the law would be upheld and they could civilly sue anybody who surreptitiously went into and filmed and the whistleblowers. So I mean, I think Rufus is right that the ag community was probably not happy that the law was struck down. I will say Judge Schrader quoted one of my decisions that I wrote, so that just shows the depth.
He's got to be a smart man.
Decision. Yeah.
And I actually misspoke myself. Actually, the more I thought about it, the more I can see why farmers would have been pleased by this, or not pleased by this, because it didn't give them the right to sue. It's just one of many court cases in which the legislature is passing laws. Don't they ever, Rufus, you dealt with this for a long time, don't they ever consult with courts or judges or attorneys general or anybody before they passing these laws who would advise them saying, wait a minute, you're stomping all over First Amendment rights here. This isn't going to stand up.
I remember back when Liston Ramsey was the Speaker of the House, he would call me often and ask about that. And that was the only time, though, in my career I've ever been asked by anybody in the legislature whether the Attorney General thought that something was unconstitutional or not. And I think somebody puts a bill in, and its fate is determined by whether or not they've got the clout to get it through, and the Constitution be damned. And the legislative drafting office can have all kinds of objections, but if a legislator wants it done, it's their job to draft the legislation.
I got to believe Jerry Cohen was telling them, hey, guys, this isn't going to stand up. Don't you, Bob?
Oh, he would. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, let me say one thing on another area that fits here, and that is, are the judges getting in too many cases? The judiciary doesn't bring cases. The only reason they have these issues is because parties on each side bring lawsuits and force the courts into having to deal with these highly controversial issues.
And they drop in lawsuits left and right over just about anything. It certainly guarantees a lot of work for you lawyers, that's for sure. Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.